What was, obviously it's a pretty young core group here, and there was a lot of talk about going through these meaningful games together where your lives are on the line. What do you think, what did you learn, and what do you think the group can take out of that experience?
I think we have a lot to be proud of. Like you said, a lot of teams counted us out early before the season even started, and even throughout the season, they're not going to do this, that. And like you said, we're young too, so I think there's a lot to be proud of, but we're not where we want to be overall. So I think that's the good thing is we have a good foundation, but we still have a lot of growth to do. And having those young guys and just the group that we have, I think, makes it possible to make the next jump higher next year.
A couple of guys said that they admired the fact that you gambled on you bet on yourself, so to speak, with your contract situation, and they kind of look up to you. These are younger guys, but talk about that a little bit. That what was the genesis of betting on yourself and only taking the 1 year at the beginning?
Yeah, no, I think everything happened so quick. I thought Pittsburgh was going to qualify me throughout that whole process, and then the day before free agency, they called me and said they weren't. But so then it's just like whoa, and so a lot of teams called, and I had to make a decision. But I think for myself, just trusting my gut, and I've been a big man of faith, and I trust God. So for myself, I just thought, you know what, like this has a lot of opportunity here, and I feel like in my gut it's telling me to come to Philadelphia. And for me, it's pretty easy if you just work hard and have a good attitude and let the chips fall as they may. Maybe it goes your way, maybe it doesn't, but I think for me, just trusting God's plan is makes it a lot easier on myself, and I think that helped me a lot throughout this year.
Does it feel like, I know obviously this year you guys didn't get to where necessarily you wanted to go, but does it feel like you're part of something that's building, something special, in terms of the guys? Everybody talks about the closest of the room, the young players and whatnot.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's, throughout my career, that's all I've ever wanted, is to be part of something. In high school, growing up, I always played for the same high school team, and I think you grow with those guys, and we ended up my last year being there winning the championship, and I think that means so much more, right? Like you start where it didn't start so great, and you're building just something special. And I've always wanted that at the pro level, and I feel like I have that opportunity here. And it's, year one, and it's already been so much fun just throughout the season, I guess.
How do you balance kind of processing everything that kind of went wrong this season, but also letting yourself be excited about what you can build on for next season?
Yeah, I think, throughout the whole year we were in a playoff spot, right? So that's the thing is like, as good of the year it was, there's so much room for growth in the sense where, we lost eight in a row, And so those are things that, young teams, and it wasn't like we weren't playing great and like the room wasn't bad, this and that. It just, for whatever reason, it happened, right? So I think even with how the season went, there's still improvement that we could have had even this year. And so that's exciting where sometimes you're still not playing, I guess, to your standard at this year, and I think next year with the growth that we have with this team, we'll make it even better.
When the season started, you were on the fourth line, and there was not a little uncertainty about your game, and you've obviously moved up in the lineup and gotten more responsibilities as the season has worn on. Like, how does that help with your confidence maybe going into next year? And do you change maybe training because your game has maybe shifted a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's, confidence for sure. I think I've always believed in myself, but in this sport you need others to believe in you too. Right? I've played in Montreal, played in Pittsburgh, and now here, and I got to give credit to Jonesy and Danny for bringing me in, and then Torch for giving me that opportunity. So just having that hard work and attitude that whatever happens and comes your way, you're gonna take on. So, and then transferring to summertime where, this is the first season where I played fully where I didn't get an injury. So I think that alone is a big step for me, and then also just learning how to maintain energy, strength, all those things, playing so many more minutes, I think is a big thing that I'm going to try to focus on this year, just so I can maintain that throughout a full 80-game season.
What was it like for you during the season when you walk in the locker room maybe that first time and you see yourself on that third line or the fourth line, and the relationship also you built with Hathaway? Yeah, no,
you're excited. You want to do as much as you can to help the team win, and so playing more minutes obviously equates to that. But no, I was actually talking with Garney last night about that, how we just, both of us, we started the year where we were and ended it how we did. I think told him I was proud of him, and I love playing with him. He's a guy that's always going to have your back, and he's enjoyable to play with. We started on the PK and just kind of worked our way up, and so that relationship's been great, and he's helped me out a lot, and I think I've helped him out a lot. So it was a ton of fun.
It seemed like in the second half of the year in particular, you kind of became a guy that Torts would look to, in big situations. You were getting more minutes, you were getting late game situations and whatnot. He obviously has a reputation around the league. Everybody knows he's a tough guy to play for. He pushes his guys hard. Did you expect going into the year that you might end up kind of being one of his maybe favorites on the team?
I don't know about that. I knew that, yeah, I knew that I'm just hearing stories about other guys. Obviously, I played with like Josh Anderson, guys like that who played with Torts, and they loved him. And I know that Andy, he plays a hard game, and he told me Torts is hard, but he's fair, and that's all you ask for out of a coach. So knowing that, I just knew that just being myself, I guess, and working hard and showing them that you care, I think is the biggest thing. And then, yeah, obviously I got rewarded for it, which is good.
When we were in Montreal, you mentioned how, that first game that you had the hat trick, and it was like maybe a blessing, or a curse, not a,
Yeah.
thing. And, do you feel more solidified with yourself in your career now with everything from where you were maybe that first game to now?
100%, yeah. I think, as a young kid, 19 years old, I always, you could probably ask all of us, we're all best player on your team. You're playing all the time, this and that, and so you never really have any real adversity. And so playing that first game and then having a full summer where I'm thinking, oh, I'm just going to go in and do the same stuff, it's a big shock for me to get sent down to the AHL. And as a 19-year-old in a different country, first time really like moving away from home, it was definitely tough on me. But I think in retrospect, I took a lot from it, and I think it made me the player I am today. I learned so many little things that I don't think if that didn't happen to me, I wouldn't be the player I am today, and I probably wouldn't even be in the league. So, at the time it sucked, but I think it's helped me out a lot, and I actually appreciate what happened to me.
Both Cam Atkinson and Sean Couturier talked today about the fact that they had a challenge this year, the struggle coming back from surgery. Did the young players pick up on that and see that their strength and how they handle all that situation through the year?
100%, yeah. I think it shows, why they've been in the league for so long, right? I think success isn't linear. There's a lot of ups and downs, and I think the guys that stay around handle it the best, and that's about being a pro. Sometimes even if it is an injury or you're not playing as much or this and that, it's not going your way. I think just trying to stay consistent throughout it all in an 82-game season is why they're so good and why they've been in the league for so long.
You had a little bit of time on the power play this year. Is that something that you enjoy doing, maybe want to do more of in the future, and maybe get in the ear of the coaching staff a little bit and say, hey, I kind of like being that now?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's obviously it's a privilege to be on the power play, and no, every time I've been on the power play, I've enjoyed it, and you're getting out there and they're counting on you to score. So yeah, definitely.